What's going on, guys? Back here with another Dumpster Talk podcast. Todd and I are back here. It's been another week. They're just going very
Flying by. We're
This
getting old.
summer's going crazy. But so yeah, we're back here today. We have a very special guest, Reesy Neff. So she is with Omega ECycles, and if you guys just want to give you a little bit of background on yourself. I believe this is our first time meeting. I don't know. Did you come to a tour here at the yard?
Yeah,
or?
we came for a tour a while ago. Yeah,
Some years ago. I think you and your husband, right?
Yeah,
I remember because it was right when we got the non-fair scale up there.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was really,
Yeah.
it was really cool. I enjoyed it very much.
Awesome. Well,
So-
now welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Appreciate you guys doing this,
Of course.
and I love this dumpster talks.
Thank
I
you.
love
Yeah,
it.
it's
Good
awesome.
surprise.
Right.
So
Even
yeah,
though I'm not really a dumpster. I mean, different.
This is a different setting for a dumpster. It's pretty clean. I would
Yep.
say.
I think so too.
upgraded over the years.
Yep.
But yeah, Reesy, if you just want to kind of give a little background on yourself, kind of
Sure.
maybe where you're from and kind of what drives you each day.
Oh, what drives me every day? Well, originally I'm from North Carolina, as you'll hear, and my voice and accent, but I've been here in Pennsylvania for over 30 years. I jokingly say I'm a recovering banker. I was a regional manager in banking for 15 years, and via lots of mergers and having to terminate 23 people in one day, I was like, I think I'll not do this anymore. And so my husband said, why don't you come home? Because obviously terminating 23 people in one day is a bad day. It was made worse because I was terminating people that were had been in the bank for a long time, 30 years. It was a regional bank. They'd been in the bank for 30 years, and they wanted their severance package. And I'm saying, hey, you get to stay because you're tenure. So they're mad. And then I'm talking to the young mom, single mom, saying, you lose your job. She's crying. It was bad. And my husband's like, why don't you come home? I'm like, I'll come home. And I'm not the type to sit still. As you'll tell within 2 seconds of meeting me. And I was driving him nuts. And he has a separate business. He sells industrial shredding equipment to a company like the Mayo Clinic, or the Navy might call him and say, hey, I have this stuff to be destroyed from a data destruction perspective. And I consider him to be one of the number one consultants in the United States on data destruction.
Wow.
And one of the things that he does is he outfits box trucks for on-site data destruction. So again, I'm home. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? I need to get out, or I'm going to be, bossing him and everybody else around. What are we going to do? And so he said, why don't we get you a truck and you can sell on-site data destruction? And I thought, well, I've been in New York because of banking, been on a lot of boards, know a lot of people. I'm like, I can do that. I understand because of being in banking, because some people are like, well, what do you do? How does that have to do with banking? It really it is connected in that, I've sat across from a person who's had all their information stolen. I've been a part of ATM skimming, like all of that stuff. And so it does make sense when you understand exactly what I do. So I'm like, yeah, I can sell on-site data destruction. And so we spent $70,000, and we got a truck and a shredder, and we started Omega Data Security in January of 2020. Yeah, not a great
Perfect
time. Yeah. So I'm like, oh my God, okay. So, and that, again, it's okay. So I took a minute, even while I have that background in protecting, privacy and et cetera, it gave me, a bit of about a year of studying of more like NAID. I'm sure you guys are familiar with NAID and iSigma and all those types of things. And so fast forward a year, and my husband, because of his industry, is hearing that that's becoming a free service. Like, great, we have this $70,000 truck. What are we going to do? And honestly, guys, I prayed about it because I thought, I can't go back to banking. He didn't want to go back to banking. And he reached out to a client of his down in Florida. And this man graciously said, we'd like to pay it forward. I work with my wife. Come down to Florida. We'll show you everything. And we'll show you our business model. You're halfway there. You have the truck, you have the shredder. And so we flew down to Florida in February 21. And the point of this is that my business model works, because when you hear some of the stuff, you're like, what? Anyway, so we flew down to Florida, February 21. Amazing. I mean, this gentleman started in his garage maybe 13, 14 years ago, and he currently recycles for Disney.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, this works. So we came back and we started Omega Data Security, doing business as Omega ECycles. And what we do is we pick up end-of-life IT equipment, anything that has to do with IT. We bring it back to our warehouse. We remove all asset identification tags. We remove the memory. That's the most important part, pulling all the hard drives, solid state memory. Barcode scan the serial numbers off the drive, to create a certificate of destruction. That's also really important. And we shred the drives. We don't wipe them. They're shred. We have the state-of-the-art shredder. I got it in with, the hubby. And so we shred the drives, we recycle the rest, and we do it at zero cost. So, of course, that always gets the eyebrow. How do you do that for free? We work with, and I'm sure you're familiar with these terms, R2, V3 certified recyclers or e-stewards, whatever, that purchase those items from us in bulk. Because a company could say, well, why don't I do that? Because they don't want your 100 laptops. They want a truckload of laptops. So we're HIPAA compliant. We're 100% woman owned. And I love what we do every day. It's amazing. People like it too. Yeah, it's fun.
So what would you say is kind of your biggest niche for your customer? Like, what's the biggest, if you would ask them, why do they work with you? What's the most common answer, would you say?
I know a lot of people want to say free because it is free. So that does make it easy. However, I believe that what sets us apart a little bit is that our professionalism. When I started this company, it was really important to me to make sure that we followed our mission and vision. Because unfortunately, I'd worked with institutions or whatever. Yep. Institution sounds kind of funny. But anyway, I work with companies that, they make you memorize these beautiful value statements and et cetera, and they don't really live by them. So having that mission and that vision was super, super important. And so the point of that is that we do what we say we're going to do. So integrity is like our number one value, a great client experience, and the fact that we are data destruction experts. I say that we're recyclers at heart, data destruction experts. And then the other part, which I think is really important to note and what I'm learning is, so if I'm talking to a company and saying, so what do you do with your stuff now? And the answer is, I got a guy. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Because the question isn't necessarily what you're doing with it, is what am I doing with it after I get it from you?
Yeah.
So that R2 V3 certified recycler that we work with, that's the piece that's important. Yeah. Because you can have a guy, and it's like, well, what is he doing with it?
Yeah.
And so that's the answers and things that we bring to the table when we're talking to a client. That certificate of destruction, certificate of recycling. We can tell you where we send our stuff, and it's not, we don't sell it. We're dealing with
transparency.
Correct. Exactly.
Yep.
Very, very transparent. Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. So like obviously our industries are very similar, recycling. What does sustainability kind of mean to your industry?
Oh my gosh. Well, I love statistics. I'm not a detail person. I feel like statistics are more big picture. So as an example, only 17% of e-waste is recycled in the United States, while our landfills are full of 70% of it. So it is a problem. It is the number one waste stream growing in the world. And I have grandbabies. I know I don't look like it, but I do. I have grandbabies, and I really want this. I want it to be a cleaner, greener place for them and the future. So the combination of what e-waste is doing to the planet and where it's being shipped, if it's not taken care of correctly, to like third world countries where women and children are picking through for precious metals. I mean, all of those things drive me personally, and is why I do what I do. And I believe what my industry is about is protecting the planet from that e-waste.
Yeah, for sure.
Todd and I just got to go to, as we mentioned, we went to Ohio a few weeks ago, and we were at like a big trash facility. I believe it's called a MRF. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they does your shredder, I guess what I'm asking, does your shredder have like the different components to it to where it sorts each thing out?
Oh, no, that's our folks that we partner with. So our shredder only does hard drives and solid state memory M.2s. It is a state of the art shredder and that it can do both those things. But when that's those guys, we can't. Yeah. We deal with those, and they have those big machines. Shredders. Yeah. So which are super cool, right?
Yeah. So once you shred your guys' customers' stuff down, I guess it turns to it's mostly like what's all in there. I guess steel.
So what happens?
Motherboard.
Yeah. So first of all, e-waste is anything with a plug. I don't know if you know that. So e-waste is considered anything with a plug. And for us, so again, we specialize in IT equipment. So we're not the end all be all of like e-waste. We're just focusing specifically on that. So depending on what the component is, so pulling those drives, shredding that memory, shreds everything, make sure that there's not going to be a data breach, and then that stuff has value, and then all the other parts and things that we're taking, like everything from some of the same things that you guys take, wire, adapters, but then there's the laptops, and then there are printers and copiers and routers and access points and servers, all of those things. So they all have different places that they go. For us, like we have various downstream, so it depends on what it is for where it goes. And then those guys take it through those machines and smelt it, pull out the precious metals, and do what they do.
Yeah.
With them being certified, they are allowed to resell, but that is certainly after the memory's gone. So we're not giving anything
Yeah.
away that has memory in it.
So you guys do that part of kind of wiping away the memory before you even send it out.
Correct. That's the most, for us, that's the most important part. We shred all the drives, and then they ask the identification tags, and then we send it downstream. Mhm.
Yeah.
How many employees do you guys have?
Currently, there are 5, including myself.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're growing. It's been a really great. We've had steady incremental growth. I will say that banking certainly did prepare me to make sure that we didn't grow too fast, although I feel like we're growing pretty fast.
Yeah.
Because we typically don't lose a client. And I believe that's because yes, we're free, but we also perform, I think, a really great service. And then our team, I mean, if you looked at our Google reviews for our company, you'll hear the same language, professionalism. We guarantee our certificate of destruction within 2 weeks. I mean, just all of the process is nice and smooth, and we want to make it easy for our clients too.
Yeah. How's it been kind of starting out the company? I know starting in COVID had to be really hard.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy kind of like the startup and kind of building the company to where it is?
It's funny that you asked that, Todd. So no, I did it. I didn't. Okay, so it's a very exciting thing when you start a business, but you don't know what you don't know. Luckily, I was able to really lean in on my husband because he's been self-employed for 13 years. So he would calm my nerves when I'm like, where are the clients or whatever. But I wish I would have memorialized it better because from where we were to where we are, at first it was just me and him. And we had 2,500 square feet of warehouse space, and we'd pick up this stuff, and I'd hold something up to him. I'm like, what is this? Because it's not a laptop, right? It's not.
Yeah.
It was things I just didn't. I'm like, what is it? He's like, I don't know. And I'd ask him again, and he's like, another thing. He's like, why do you keep asking me? I'm like, 'cause I am freaking out here. There's piles of stuff everywhere. I have no idea what it is. And so fast forward, 4 years, and now we have 7,000 square feet, and we know what that stuff is, and everything has a place. And so I do wish I would have memorialized it a bit more because it's been an adventure, and now I love it, and I am really proud because I'm the one who did everything. When you start out as a small business, you don't have a marketing budget. I'm the marketer.
Yeah.
I'm the scheduler. I'm the all of that. So I did enjoy getting back out there and being able to promote my own business, knowing that I'm standing behind my own mission and our own values, and that's the way we do business. So I did enjoy that part.
Yeah.
And now I'm really, it's better. Like we're 4 years old and things are going great, and I love what I do every day. So
Yeah.
that makes it better. The
Sounds
start
like
was challenging.
Sounds like a really cool story. We saw you actually wrote a book,
I did.
stripping off the labels.
Yes, which again I said to you doesn't mean I'm a stripper,
Yeah.
so I wasn't. It's really a memoir, but it's a memoir, but it's really about not letting the world tell you who you are and what you can do. Because I was born in rural North Carolina from a very poor family. I'm not formally educated. As a young person, I was probably considered wild, which is very different than slutty. It's different than that. I just had a mouth on me. And so if I'd have gone by everything that they said that I was going to be or that whatever, I probably wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
So that's really what it's about. And to be your authentic self and like I said, and even let your inner demons tell you who you are, but also embracing who you are. Like, an example is I'm prissy. I know I'm prissy. My husband knows I'm prissy. I'd probably be the first person kicked off of Survivor. And that's okay. I mean, I could maybe charm my way through one episode, but understanding who you are and accepting that too, not making that good or bad. So yeah, it's a book about that, and the struggles that I went through to find myself and my soulmate, which I have finally.
Yeah.
Thank goodness that took a bit. But yeah, and I'm in I'm in a second book too, as a more of an anthology, where there's a bunch of women, and it's called Becoming the Unstoppable Mompreneur.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's just a chapter.
That's
but
awesome. How do you obviously like writing?
I do.
How's that kind of experience been, kind of putting pen to paper and writing a full book? Because it's not an easy thing to do.
No, it is. It's a little bit of therapy, and I'll tell people that I'm not creative enough to write to make up a story. I can only really write. I do enjoy writing, but I like to write about feelings and people because that's just what I like to write about. I couldn't really write about. I don't think I have enough imagination to write a fictional type book. I don't think I'd be really good at that, but I do enjoy writing about feelings and people and how they make me feel. My husband says I have a little bit of a knack for like, how do you remember people? I just remember a lot about people and the details of people. And it's therapeutic. So when you sit, especially when you're writing about what I wrote about, and I'm considering writing another one. We'll see. I'm thinking about writing about what we're talking about today, like starting a business and writing a book all over the age of 50, and what that felt like and looked like. And so I'm thinking about that, but it's a lot of work. It took me 3 years to do
3
that.
years.
And I had a writing coach, the same lady who helps me with, who helped me publish it and all of that. She's a magnificent lady. She helps a lot of people, especially in York County. And she stayed by my side and helped me for 3 years get through it. And yeah, I'm really proud of it.
Definitely have to get another one out. We'll have to read it. We'll have to check it out.
Hopefully you'll still like me afterwards.
We'll put the link. I saw it was on Amazon.
Yes, it is.
So we'll put that link in the description so people can kind of check
thank you.
it out.
I appreciate that.
Of course. So kind of going back to the e-waste management, how do you guys kind of keep up with the trends? Like we see a lot of industries changing with AI, with processes. How do you guys kind of keep up with the trends?
Well, it's interesting that you say that because so I belong to the Tech Council of Central PA. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but I love them. I'm on the board, and I've really been able to utilize them from a technical perspective. Like this year alone, I went to PA TechCon. I don't know if you're familiar, but PA Innovate. So I am, again, very blessed to be part of that organization, to be on learning those things. And I was just at PA TechCon, and I saw this gentleman speak, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we need to learn how to recycle drones and robots. I know that sounds really funny, but that's the next thing is AI becoming physical. It's not just the AI on the computer. It's like, okay, what are you going to do with this robot? And then I had a vision of that movie with Will Smith, iRobot, with like, the fields of like dead robots. But I feel like that's important because AI and intelligence is going to be everywhere. We are currently getting ready to go to, we talked earlier, I'm getting ready to go to the eScrap conference. I think those things help. So staying on top of the industry around reading and attending the things that you can attend. And so my world combines, if you will, the recycling, but also combines that tech piece too, right? So I'm able to take the Tech Council and eScrap conference and kind of put all that together so that we're hopefully staying on top of it. But I do think, being at those things gives me those ideas of like, oh, we need to check this out. And as you know, I'm sure industries are changing because memory is coming in everything these days.
Yeah.
So we have to figure that out. So
it has to be even harder for your industry because there's new technology coming out. So you kind of have to figure out how to handle certain things. Like there's robots now.
Correct.
Which is insane, kind of.
And sometimes we'll get clients, and we really do try to take care of them, who'll give us stuff that has memory that's not necessarily, again, a computer, and you have to figure that out. So there's a lot of Googling. There's a lot of like looking and making sure too, because you might get something that you don't think has memory in it, but it does. So and again, data destruction experts, we want to make sure that we're not sending anything downstream that has memory in it. So we research, we look, we confirm. I mean, we have companies all the time bring us, we'll get their computers and say, oh, we pulled all the drives. We open every single computer regardless. And I'm telling you, 99.9% of the time, and it's just human error, we find it. Yeah, and it's okay. That's okay. That is not disparaging the person. We're human. So, when you're taking hard drives out of 200 laptops, you might miss one if you get interrupted or et cetera, but that's why we do it. So we're very serious about that piece. So back to, yes, we need to make sure we're looking at the equipment. Does it have memory? Where is the memory? Figuring out how to get it out of there, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's very interesting. What does kind of your day-to-day look like because you started up the company, so I'm sure your days kind of look different every day.
My days look very different, and it's changed, over the past 4 years too. In the beginning, I was everything. I was doing everything. I was doing all the QuickBooks. I was doing the scheduling. I was going to the networking. I was doing all the stuff. And so, but now, fast forward, thank goodness, because everybody's bandwidth eventually, starts to go. So for me, luckily, I just hired my mother-in-law, and she's going to be my executive assistant, which has made my life a lot easier. So I don't have to do the scheduling, although I still support. I don't have to do the scheduling. I don't have to send out certificate letters anymore. She does those. And so my main thing is getting out there and letting people know about Omega, doing stuff like this. Tomorrow, I'm speaking at a Women in Tech breakfast. because again, we're still a small business. Our advertising budget's not huge, so the only way people know about us is getting out there and talking to people. So I'm currently involved in 4 chambers, I think, 4 chambers, the Tech Council, United Way, Women Living United. I do that.
Nice.
So yeah.
So you see a big importance in kind of networking, being on LinkedIn because it's free advertising. You kind of get out there.
Oh my gosh, LinkedIn changed my business. I did a scaling project with a lovely lady, and it just changed everything. I get appointments, going on LinkedIn, people looking at my profile. I post regularly. I do this year. Kind of funny how you grow. This year we were able to hire someone to help me with social media. I still do a lot of mine, but then I was able to have her help me. And it just, LinkedIn being out there, people need to see your face. There's a great book that I have read. It's by Jeb Blunt. It's called Fanatical Prospecting. And he says, and I felt kind of good about this because I'm like doing everything he says. You got to do it all. You got to do this. You got to be out. You got to be on LinkedIn or your social media. You got to be doing all this stuff, and then people see you, and then after some time, this is when they start to ask questions. But yeah, so my day to day is mostly about who can I have appointments with, how can I be out there, chatting with people about what we do. I do take phone calls about like if people want to understand more as well. If we get a client call that wants a deeper conversation, then just let's schedule. Because when they see it's free, they do get nervous, and I understand. Even though it's on the website, here's why we're free. But I have a lot of those conversations too. I went to the Harrisburg Chamber dinner, and John Taft from Bar Rescue spoke. And one of the things he said, it really resonated for me, was if you're not working, not to work in your business, work on your business. So as a business owner, that's sometimes really hard because when you grow, you're used to being in it, but then you're like trying to like work on it, and that looks different, right? Working on it is being out, meeting people, talking about what you do. Working in it is scheduling, or QuickBooks, where but that takes time for you to grow before you can hire people.
Yeah, I think it takes the trust aspect too, because you've been doing it yourself. You know how to do it. You're doing it your way and the right way, whether it's really right or not.
Right.
But you have to kind of trust someone to kind of take your baby in a way, because I'm sure when you own a company, it kind of is like a kid in a way, like you saw it grow up, and now you kind of have to give it away to people and kind of work on it instead of in it. It has to be difficult.
Oh, it's very challenging. It's really challenging. And you're right. My husband and I talk about it being our baby. I married a man with 4 children. They are my children. But I didn't have any physically have any children. And so I'm like, this is our baby. Yep. And you're right. I mean, I hired my mother-in-law, and it's really hard to be like, and I've spoiled some of our clients. And so as opposed to, we have a form on our website to fill out for pickups, but some of them, they know me, so they'll email me. So I'm having to transition them to her, and it's freaking me out because I'm like, I like talking to our clients. I like staying in touch. So yes, it is challenging, and I know it's what I have to do. It's still really can be hard.
Yeah. That's actually a good segue. What would you say your favorite part of your job is? It could be any aspect of it, whether when you're working in the business or on it.
Also, not to cut you off, I don't know if we talked about, so you just said they schedule pickups. Mm-hmm. So you guys go out and pick up all the electronics, or do you have a drop-off area too?
No, we just pick up at this point. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And when we only do businesses, no residential. Because our mission is to make the world a cleaner, greener, safer place, we will partner with companies or people to do e-cycle days where residential people can bring their IT equipment because they do need help. Yeah. And because everyone has an iPad or a computer or an old whatever, a gaming system as an example, because that has memory too. So that's how we reach that audience as well. And honestly, my favorite thing is probably what I've learned to always be my favorite thing is telling people about the business and sharing what we do. I do really enjoy that. And it's what I feel most confident in doing. Again, the details of like I hated QuickBooks. I hated it. It was just not a thing for me. I'm much more of a people person. Yeah. So getting out and being with people and sharing our story, because I think our story is relative and a good one. It's probably what I enjoy the most. And if you put me behind a desk, you might as well stab me in the eye because I don't like it.
I have to say I don't like sitting behind a desk too much either. Can you kind of remember like a setback or a challenge that kind of helped you or formed you to kind of who you are today? Maybe it's through starting the company, maybe it's through your previous job as banking.
A setback is, well, I've had, I'm getting ready to do a speech tomorrow. I've had a lot of setbacks. I've had a lot of health issues. I had a lot of, we have 4 kids, when I got with him, the youngest was 2. She's now 25. So again, they're my children, but we went through a lot of things throughout life. I had 4 total cars. I had 2 rehabs, not my rehabs, their rehabs. Mental health, like a lot of stuff. I do probably pride myself in the fact that I've kind of snapped back from that in addition to some my own health issues, had to work through. And then with the business, every step that you take in growth, it almost seems like there's a moment before you take that step in growth that is hard. Do you know what I mean? Like, we started out with 2,500 square feet of warehouse space, and going to that next 5,000, you're just like holding your breath, thinking, is this going to be okay? We're going to have enough business to pay the rent, and then you I hired my son, okay, and it was a great decision, and you're scared, but then we hired our next employee, who's a wonderful young man, and in his culture, it's part of his culture to take care of his parents, and so now there's this. I didn't realize how much of a responsibility I would feel towards that young man and his family. So I like to make sure, like, are we busy? And so in this moment, the biggest struggle is when we slow down. And then I'm like, all my anxiety starts to go, are we okay? Is there, are we still getting clients? And it's just silly. It's just business doing what it does. Like end of August, middle of August, I thought we were slow. I was having a heart attack. And I told him, I'm like, we're slow. And then when we look at the month, and it was like, actually, we really weren't, and it was okay. So I have to remind myself, again, my husband's been a great mentor for me in that way. Be like, just relax.
We do that here.
Yeah?
I would say.
We do that a lot. Yeah.
It stinks, right? Like, it's not any fun because you're just like.
It's normal. I feel like it's normal, though. I've been here for over 4 years now, and we can kind of see, like, we'll have a busy 2 weeks, and then might have 2 or 3 days where there's 2 or 3 runs on the schedule.
Yes.
Which at first it was like, okay, it's like that world ending, but it's just kind of is what it is sometimes.
Exactly, but you got to breathe through it, right?
Yep.
You got to go, okay, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. The key is not to stop your activities, because that's what's going to keep driving that business is getting out there. So
what do you think the importance of having that good mentor is, especially starting off a business? I'm sure it's really important.
I got to tell you, I've been blessed in my life to have some really great mentors throughout. Like, I had one of my best mentors in the bank, was a wonderful gentleman. I kind of feel like my life has kind of brought me where I am, and teaching me stuff. And all through that, there's been amazing people that have come along and shared with me for free, I would add. So I try to do that too, just FYI. Like, our mentor down in Florida, showing us his business model. We are currently mentoring 2 companies that are not near us, but another state. So I want to give back to them the way it's been given to me. And then my husband, because of it, that business experience just helps in so many ways. So many ways. I highly recommend that.
Yeah.
Finding
It's important to
someone.
have those mentors. Dan and Michael have been huge mentors for us.
Oh,
we were really young
yes.
coming in here.
Yeah.
We graduated during COVID. So we kind of started off as a summer job, and 4 and 5 years later, we're still here.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah, it's great to have those mentors that kind of push you to do things that you wouldn't do without them. Like, we wouldn't be doing a podcast in a dumpster. But it's good to have them people kind of see what you don't see and kind of push you towards what they think you could be best at.
And cheer you on afterwards too.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, great job, or look at you guys go, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think it's invaluable.
For sure.
It's invaluable, which is also why I try to give back too. I want to give back because it's been given to me.
Yep, for sure. Well, we really appreciate it. Is there any other, we always wrap it up with a finale question, but is there anything else you kind of wanted to hit on or ask us?
No, I really appreciate you guys having me out here. This has been a wonderful conversation, and thank you for noticing Omega, because that's how we continue to grow as people getting to know who we are.
Of course,
Sure,
we appreciate
definitely.
you taking the time to kind of come on. We're excited. Hopefully we can come tour your guys' facilities.
Yeah, we gotta
Oh,
get it scheduled for
yes.
sure.
I want you guys to come out. And I love Dan and Side Metals. It's such an amazing organization with all that you do beyond what you do. You know what I mean? So,
we really appreciate it.
yeah, it's great.
Thank you
So our
much.
finale question we always ask is, what advice do you wish someone gave you when you were starting off your career, back when you were in your early 20s? I'm 22. Alex is 23.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
is there any like little piece of advice that you know now that might have been helpful if you had it a little sooner?
You're 23 now.
Oh yeah, I am. I'm getting old. We're both 23.
He's getting old. Speaking
It was
to
just
a
my
woman
birthday
over.
not too long ago.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Well, 2 months ago now, but
Oh,
that's bad.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I try to forget how old I am
Love
too.
that.
Shoot.
A piece of advice, I think that at a younger age, for me, keeping in mind that I was also in a finance manager in the car business. And it took me, when I started doing that, about a year to speak up and stand in my power a bit. And so it's a little bit of, so when you ask me that question, there's a little bit about what I have in my book, and it's a little bit about that experience. So like, speak, find your voice, be kind and be truthful. So, because you don't want to, so find your voice, and in that voice, be kind and be truthful. Because people can speak out and be not so nice. And, honestly, at 22 in the car business, there was times I might not have been so nice, because I was, I'm managing 25 men in the 90s in the car business. It was a tough time.
Yeah.
But again, still taught me a lot. But I should have found probably a better way to express myself, and still be firm. So finding my voice, be true, be kind and truthful, and you'll always win. If you're kind and truthful, no one
advice.
can ever say, whatever.
Yep.
Can't say anything about you. Kind and truthful. It's never gonna. My daughter calls it my godfather, because like if I just sit down with you and have a conversation, it's maybe a tough conversation, but I'm kind and truthful.
Yep.
That's probably a big, find your voice, be kind and truthful would be the thing I would advise.
Perfect. I think that's great advice, especially for these times. I feel like we could use a little bit more kindness and just treat people like humans.
Yeah, and you don't have to sacrifice who you are, and that as long as you're kind. You know what I mean? You really don't.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's great advice. We appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you
so
again
much
for coming on.
Thank you guys so much. You guys are doing such a great job. I love it. I love this, and I love this experience.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Hopefully we'll have you on again one day. We're on our road to 100. I think this is episode 92.
That's
So
exciting.
we have eight more till triple digits.
That's awesome. Well, you guys
Getting
come
there.
visit. We'll take some pictures. We'll get you
Perfect.
some other people on your podcast. It'll be great.
That'd be awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thank you guys. Thank you for coming on, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Thank you.